Hello everybody. We're going to finally do our total trip review for our trip to North Carolina, mostly North Carolina, a little bit of Tennessee, very little bit of South Carolina. But anyway, we're a little late doing this. We had a round of sickness in this house, and so...
yeah, and we had the holidays, we had crazy work schedules for him and my brother, and the end of band competition, so that took up a lot of our time. So, but happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Today is November 23rd, and it's actually 60 years to the day that President Kennedy was shot. Did you know that?
No.
There's your little trivia for today. So anyway, so we're doing our review from our week-long camping trip, second honeymoon, 20th anniversary, that we started on Monday or late Sunday night, October 15th.
16th.
And 16th. So
we left about 20 minutes after midnight.
Yeah. So our goal was to start at midnight, and we were close.
We were close.
Yeah.
And so we didn't really make any stops till we got to Cleveland, Tennessee. And then that was the first of our Dunkin' Donuts, because my wife's obsessed. But I will say that all the Dunkins we went to in that area were very, very good.
Yeah, very
good. They
good.
were quick, they were friendly, and the food was good. When here in our area and straight up from us, it's kind of hit or miss whether you're going to get good stuff at Dunkin' Donuts.
Right. Now, he likes the maple glazed donuts, and he's got me addicted to them now. I prefer just to get coffee, but then again, yeah, I like their coffee because they make it with almond milk and unsweetened flavors. My iced latte that I'm now addicted to. So, yeah, they were pretty much all great, and the only trouble I've ever had with Dunkin' Donuts was in Huntsville, but that's another review for another time.
Okay, so anyway, after we left there, we took the Highway 64 along the Ocoee River.
Yeah, in the middle of the night when it's dark and I'm driving, and yeah.
If you've never taken it, there's a drop off to the river if you're headed toward North Carolina on your side of the road.
Right.
And the other side of the road has bluffs right beside the road.
Right.
So people don't necessarily stay in their lanes, and it is windy and narrow. And
but
so
we survived.
We survived, and we made it to Murphy to have breakfast at the Waffle King. If you've never been to the Waffle King, their chili is amazing.
Yes, the Waffle King, not Waffle House, which is, what, 2 doors down?
Yes.
Don't go to the Waffle House. Go to the Waffle King.
They're open 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
It was our second trip there, first time with the kids. Excuse me. And both times, really good food.
Yeah.
Really good service.
And that's in Murphy, North Carolina.
And from there, we proceeded to Hayesville, and they have the Cherokee Homestead exhibit and native
American
native plant garden,
right?
Which I walked around. It's really, really interesting.
Large mural and everything.
It was a little cool being in the morning, so I didn't enjoy it as much as I could have, but
it was peaceful and quiet, except for just, it was very early in the morning, wasn't it?
We were
it was
there
like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning.
7:30 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so, I mean, people weren't really, there was a little bit of traffic going into downtown, I guess people that work downtown, but it wasn't crazy. We got to check things out quietly. We were the only ones there. They had a beautiful mural and a hut and other examples set up, so it was really, really cool.
Yes, and from there, we proceeded to take 64 toward Franklin, and I'm not sure what road it was, but my wife took a back road, mountain road, Nothing horrible. I'm not afraid of heights, or I am afraid of heights. And I didn't have any, am I going to survive this moment? So nothing horrible. Check out the video on that because she took silent video of that trip. So you can see the fall colors there.
Right.
And that took us the back way into Franklin.
Right.
And so we wanted to go to Brasstown Beef. I've got a t-shirt from there now. And try the Nantahala sausage. We bought a roll of that, carried it around in the ice chest for a whole week, and tried it at home. I'm not sure I'd drive 6 hours, 7 hours to go get more,
and
but it was good.
Our intention was to cook it up at the campsite, and we just didn't get around to setting all of that up because it was so cold and wet and rainy. So we didn't get around to setting up food at our first stop. So yes. we carried that in the ice chest all week long and cooked it when we got home.
And so then from there we went to Sassy Stitches and A Stitch in Time, both in Franklin. I'll let her talk about the quilt shops because that's her.
The quilt shops were, we like to support our quilt shops anytime we can. Can't always afford, but I can afford a fat quarter or a small piece of fabric or a pattern or some thread sometimes, you know. And right now they had the, during last month they had the All Carolina Quilt Shop Hop. So you could enter drawings for larger prizes, and you can enter for drawings for each shop. But it's really nice to get to meet some of the people, and I was very selective. I didn't really do I didn't really map it out. That was our original plan, was to go and do the quilt shop hop and cover an entire region so that we could turn our passport in and enter for one, you know, a $5,000 long arm or whatever. That would have been nice. But anyway, so yeah, we checked out 2 quilt shops in that town, and they were really nice. We
went to their Walmart, and I got a 10-day fishing license, out-of-state fishing license. Cost $11 for a coastal license and $23 for inland fishing. And after that, we went to our first camping location, which was the Grumpy Bear Campground.
Hang on just a second.
Anyway, we had a little interruption. Sorry about that. We got to the Grumpy Bear Campground in Bryson City about 1:30 by the time we got there.
Right.
And so we stayed in the teepee.
Yes, we stayed in a teepee, and the teepee was, what was it, $60? Yes. $60, and it has an electric pole inside of it, but it's built on decking, and there's, of course, spaces in between the decking, and they had like an outdoor rug inside the teepee, and we rented a heater from them. But the heater didn't really keep us warm because all that air was coming up from underneath. So I had bought from Sam's these 12 by 16 or 16 by 13 or whatever they were, really huge tarps. So I would suggest maybe to the owners, or if you're traveling there, to put one down and cover up all of the openings where air gets in, because it's literally right next to the water. So it was already cold to begin with, plus you had the water right next to it, which made it even colder, and it was rainy and wet, and it's still just a canvas tent, but if you've got air coming up underneath, that the heater was it was useless, basically, because it was not only coming up underneath, it was coming up underneath of the air mattress and making us cold. So, I mean, we survived. Grumpy Bear Campground is a quiet, beautiful little campground, and I would highly recommend it. They have, what was it, 6 teepees or 5?
6 teepees.
6 teepees in one section, and then next to it they have they have 2 bathrooms, with no shower or anything, just a toilet and a sink, just for the teepee area. Then on the other side of the park, which isn't that far away, is another cabin. And they have a couple of dry cabins, and they have one fully loaded cabin, and then the rest they have electric hookups for either a tent or RV. But their restrooms, and I did a whole video on those, the restrooms were amazing. They have laundry on both sides. They have vending machines with very affordable snacks and drinks.
Everything's $1, and they have laundry soap and dryer sheets.
Right, and they have accessible, and they have a ramp as well as steps into the bathrooms, and they have one that's accessible, and then they have like 5 other bathrooms. So it has a toilet, it has a shower, and it's indoor. It's a
private.
neat little cabin. It's a private little cabin. And we brought our coffee pot and set it up on top of the dryer, because we dried some what did we have that we got wet, our jackets or something that had gotten wet, and we threw them in the dryer to warm them up and dry them out. And then we made our coffee, set our coffee pot up on top of the dryer, made our coffee while we took our shower and got dressed.
And the back deck of that has
it's right on the water, yeah.
A picnic table and some seats to set in. It's
some
right
Adirondack
on the
chairs. Oh yeah,
river.
Yeah, so highly recommend that place. The RV spots are only $65, but you can go on their website and check out their other prices for their cabins and for the teepees. And the owners are super, super nice. They have T-shirts. How much did we spend on T-shirts?
$15.
$15 for their T-shirts, and they have sweatshirts and mugs and all of that stuff. And they're right across the road from Darnell Farms, which has it's a farm stand. They have food, and they have ice cream.
We just went there and checked it out.
Yeah, we just
Later,
went and checked it out.
I was getting to that. But.
Right. But it's like a vegetable stand, like a farmer's market type of stand. And they have activities and stuff out there as well. They didn't have anything going on when we were there, but they have activities. They have singing. They have singers that come out there. They had, I think they were going to set up for a corn maze.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
The owners are Jerry and Karen, and Karen took care of us the next morning with our gift shop needs.
Right.
And they sell bundles of firewood, $5 for a bundle of firewood.
Yeah.
Took us a little bit to get the fire going.
Right.
But once we did, it burned a good long time. Good fire.
So we had a nice hot cup of coffee right next to the water with a fire, and it was really beautiful. And
I'll shout out to their maintenance guy, Kyle, too. He was very friendly and helpful. He pointed out where to go and told us what to do.
Yeah, and you can go back and check out our other videos about Grumpy Bear, and I show you the bathrooms, I show you the teepee, and where we are, and it's in Bryson City, North Carolina.
And I'll say again, if you're in Bryson City, just take Highway 19, cross the bridge, and make a left into the campground. Right. Do not take the back road.
Yeah, I took some kind of strange back road that ran along the river, and I was afraid we were going to get the minivan stuck. So, yeah, don't trust your GPS all the time. So, yeah, okay.
And so, after she took a nap, I went out to fly fish, and I lasted about 10 minutes before my really, really old line broke. So, there was my fishing that I spent $30-something on. But
yeah.
I knew I should have replaced my line before then. But anyway, so I went and took a nap with her. And we woke up freezing, and we decided we were going to go to Walmart in Silva. And so we went to the Goodwill. And what did you find at the Goodwill?
At the Goodwill, I found a pullover for you that's, what was it? What was the name brand?
I don't remember.
It's a name brand. And a sleeping bag. And I paid a total of $13. So that was pretty cool. And we went to the Walmart, and I got a pullover hoodie, just a plain hoodie. And I paid, what, $15 for it?
Yeah.
I think so, $14 or $15 for it. And later on, I took it back to Walmart, and we got some really cool North Carolina hoodie sweatshirts for $20. So yeah, I took that one back and I got a different one. So anyway, but you haven't lived until you half froze to death in a teepee in North Carolina.
So after we got done in Silva, we checked out downtown, drove down through downtown and all that, and then we headed back to Cherokee. We were going to check that out. They were supposed to have the campfire, the Cherokee campfire on the island, and tell stories and all that. But it was raining. We never did see anybody out there. Kind of searched for a restaurant. We've eaten at Paul's once. We tried to eat there a second time, and we thought that might be the only place open. Well, we decided to try Native Brews Tap and Grill.
Yeah, overpriced, yuppie cuisine.
Which my wife liked it, but she was really hungry.
Right. The only thing native about it were the Native Americans who were serving and working in the restaurant.
And
like
he
you
took
said,
our order. The chef brings the food out, and we don't see our waiter again the rest of the time. So
so it wasn't great service.
No, it wasn't good service at all.
And the food, I love the food only because I was super hungry. But he was already aggravated at this point that there wasn't that many choices in town, and just aggravated with the whole atmosphere of the place and the yuppification of it.
Yeah, and
yeah,
almost $30 for one entree. Just
yeah. So it wasn't for him.
That good.
Yeah.
I've had meals that I would pay $30 for. That wasn't one of them.
Right.
Anyway, what did we have?
We had salmon, and it
was chipotle honey salmon
and
with roasted Brussels sprouts.
And I liked it, and mashed potatoes.
Yeah. Anyway, so then we went back to the campsite, had our campfire, and all that stuff, and that was pretty well Monday. So Tuesday
morning we got up. We went and we had our nice hot shower. We had our coffee that we had brewed, and put our clothes in the dryer that had gotten wet, and then
we went to the Fantana Regional Library in Bryson City,
because I wanted to print out my fancy itinerary. Unrealistic itinerary, okay? So in my mind, in my menopause brain, we can drive 8 hours and we can go through 12 towns, and we can stop in every single town and check out every single town and drive for 8 hours to our next destination and make it there by 4 in the afternoon so that we can check into our next destination. Do you think that's possible? No, not at all. So
Allison helped her out. If you go to North Carolina and you need the library for anything, they will give you a guest card.
Guest card, yes.
And Allison helped her out there, and she said, didn't she say, if you go back, you can just update it and reuse it?
Right.
And if you're already in the system, if we move there, it's that much easier for her to get a regular library card.
Right.
She's already in the system. Right.
So if anybody out there has any property in Bryson City that they would like to donate to us, April LeBee at hotmail.com. Send me an email. And then we went to, what was the name of the gas station?
The Hotspot
gas station in Bryson City. I had bought these Jimmy Dean. Now I'm not a spokesperson for Jimmy Dean, but I bought these Jimmy Dean breakfast sausages that are fully cooked, and you just have to microwave them. I bought those from Sam's, and I am in love with them so much. And so we went into the little gas station, and I said, do you mind if I use your microwave to heat these up? He's like, no, go ahead. And in the meantime, he finds they had some hot food there too. and you got a hamburger,
I got a ham
and I
and
went ahead and got
cheeseburger.
a biscuit, sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, which was freaking amazing. And I heated up my sausage, and I ate that sausage. It took me all day long to, reach back there and grab a sausage patty, but that's what I did. I was driving and eating Jimmy Dean sausage patties most of the day.
And I wish I'd got the guy's name because he was super friendly,
Yeah.
really nice, and we appreciate him letting us use the microwave, for something we didn't buy in the store.
Right. And so for breakfast, if you don't bring your own breakfast, what's the name of that restaurant? Or the
Hot Spot.
The Hot Spot gas station, basically. They have hot food, and that's the place to grab some breakfast and move on to your next destination if you don't bring your own stuff to cook at your campsite.
And our next destination was Asheville. And the only reason we went to Asheville was to go see the Flatiron sculpture.
It's not a flat iron.
It is a Flatiron.
Is
That's
it?
what they call it.
Is that what they call it?
Yes, the Flatiron sculpture.
Well, I think of a flat iron as for your hair. A flat iron?
No. It's like an old-fashioned iron like you see in the Monopoly game.
But it's huge.
Yes,
It's
there's
how
pictures of
tall
her
is it?
sitting
9,
on
10 feet
Facebook,
tall?
something like that.
Yeah.
And the only other thing we did in Asheville, right next to that place, is I got notes. Sorry, I keep looking down. The Himalayas Import is right next door to it.
Yeah, I bought a little heart-shaped stone from them. Yeah, for Katie.
And so then we skedaddled out of Asheville.
Oh, I found the perfect parking spot, by
Yes.
the way. I dropped him off at the sculptures of the children running around playing.
Yes, it is at the
And reading?
Music Center.
Right. I dropped him off and drove 2 blocks down and found the perfect parking spot. And I am, okay, we might not be camping experts, but I am a parking expert, okay? I know how to park. So I parked the van and I waited for him to come down, and we were literally, 50 feet away from the iron and the little store. So he took a picture of me, and you can see all of our pictures on LaBee Adventures on our Facebook page, and all of our videos on YouTube on our YouTube channel, LaBee Adventures. But yeah, that's the 2 things we stopped for. He got some newspapers, and we got back in the van and took off.
Yes, headed to Burnsville, North Carolina. There's lots of Burnsville.
Yeah.
There's Burnsville right down the road from
Yeah,
us.
we live in Iuka, Mississippi, and we're 15 minutes away from
15
Burnsville,
minutes from-
Mississippi. So, but we went to Burnsville, North Carolina.
To the Quilton Code
Right.
quilt shop.
The Quilting Code. So, yes, we love that place. What were the people's names?
I do not know, and I tried
It's
to look
terrible.
it up online, and I couldn't find it this time.
I'm glad there's not a test because I can't remember. So I can't remember names. But Quilting Code in Burnsville, North Carolina. Go check them out. They've got all of the fabrics that you need. They have all of the North Carolina. And a lot of these shops have previous years shop hop fabric. So you don't necessarily have to buy the newest shop hop fabric. But every quilt shop has something a little bit different. So yeah, I would definitely. And one of the reasons why I chose them, because I started picking and choosing which ones I wanted to go to. Because I can buy fabric anywhere and I can buy fabric online. But if I went, when I started researching all these quilt shops and we watched YouTube videos about the quilt shops, if you had an owner or that came on and did a video and said, hey, I'm so excited about quilting and I want to share that excitement with you and I can't wait till you come to my store and please come and visit us. Well, that's a store I want to go to, somebody that wants to invite me there, you know what I mean? Not, COVID hit us pretty hard and, okay, I don't want to go see a Debbie Downer, okay? I understand. I'm a business owner, okay? I understand that business is not always great. But you got to get excited about your customers. You got to get excited about future customers, because nobody wants to come and see a complainer. I promise you, they don't. They don't. So if you did a video and you were all excited, then it made me excited. I wanted to come see you, and that's one of the reasons why I went in there. Well, that was the main reason why I wanted to go there, was because of that YouTube video. So think about that as business owners. If you want to get customers in the door, do a video about how much you want to see people, not just sell your products to them, but hey, I'm excited about this, or this, and please come into my shop. Okay.
And then that, after we left there, that's when her unrealistic itinerary really played in.
It became a suggestion at that point.
So we were headed towards Granite Falls. So we went through Spruce Pine, and we didn't plan it. I didn't even know it was there. We stopped at the Museum of North Carolina Minerals.
Right.
The county's visitor center is in there also.
And
cool little museum.
Right.
Cool little museum. She bought us some souvenirs and went a little overboard, spent a lot more than she was planning on spending.
And it's part of the state. It's part of the state park system as well.
It's federal park.
Federal,
system.
Okay,
yes,
national park
part
system.
Of the Blue Ridge Highway.
Right.
And also, we're running along. What do they call that? The mountain.
The Blue Ridge.
Over Mountain Pass.
Overlook Mountain.
No. Okay. Over Mountain Pass.
Over Mountain Pass. Okay.
Yes. Anyway.
Which was also scary.
Also a cool little museum, especially if you have kids that are into rocks and minerals. Or I thought it was fascinating anyway. They
or you just need a rest stop.
Rocks
they have bathrooms and
yes.
Yeah.
And so from there we did go. We didn't go through Granite Falls then.
No.
We changed our route and we went straight to Lake Norman. Now Lake Norman State Park.
Wait a minute, hold on. The road from that visitor center to over to where?
Highway 40.
Highway 40?
Yes.
It was very windy and a little scary. It was kind of like the Tail of the Dragon, but with a suicide lane every once in a while. And big trucks on this road, okay? So imagine the Tail of the Dragon with big trucks on the road. So it was a little bit scary. Okay, so be forewarned. If you take that route, okay, just you're going to be driving 10, 15 miles an hour, and put it in low gear. Don't burn up your brakes. You don't want to go off the side of the mountain. That's all I'll say about that road.
Okay.
Yes.
So we went to Lake Norman, and
while we were at the visitor center, we called our friends whose videos we have become obsessed about, which Derek and Shaughnessy, who live in Granite Falls, North Carolina. And we have been following them on Facebook leading up to this this whole trip. We are watching Timothy French and a couple other YouTube channels to get an idea of places to go, because when I go especially going camping, I hadn't been camping in years. So going camping, I want to know where the bathrooms are. I want to know where the showers are, and I want to know the layout of the land. So anyway, while we were at that visitor center, the Mineral Visitor Center, we called Derek and said, hey, and Steve had been talking to him up until then. And I had been messaging with him. I said, hey, we want to meet you guys. We're going to be in your area. We want to meet you guys for dinner. And yeah, I don't know how many messages back and forth between me and Derek, and until he finally said, let's find out from Shaughnessy, which he could have just done that to begin with. Let the women handle it, and you guys just show up for the food, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So. We got to meet them for supper, but we decided, and he even said this when we talked to him on the phone. I said, we're going to Lincolnton, and we're going to, where all we were going? we're going to go
Granite
south.
Falls, then
Granite Falls, then Lincolnton, then
the campground,
then
and
the
then
campground.
back to Granite Falls.
Yeah, and he's like, "Are you sure about that?" I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." You know, because I was still in my my imaginary itinerary mode where I think I'm a superwoman and I can draw. You know, if I had a flying car, it would have been no problem. But I don't have a flying car. Okay. And apparently I don't have a clue, okay? So then we're just like, we're going to have to skip all of that and go straight to Lake Norman, set up our tent, and then go out to dinner.
Which we had, 5 minutes left before the visitor center closed to get checked in and buy firewood and all that, which they were really helpful, really friendly. We called and talked to, I think it was her name Jessica? I think it was Jessica.
I think so.
Park ranger, very helpful. Anyway, they got us hooked up, we got set up, and then we're trying to see on our way to, we'll get back to Lake Norman in a minute.
Right.
We're trying to go see Bunker Hill Covered Bridge on the way back to Granite Falls, which we passed through Catawba, North Carolina. Didn't get to see a whole lot of it, but cute little town.
Yeah.
Would like to see more of that.
So I think the covered bridge is you have to take a walking trail. You can't drive directly to it.
Yeah, we couldn't drive to it, and I wanted to go to Granite Falls to see the Electric Cola Company. If you don't know what it is, the guy collects vending machines. Sometimes the inside's open up. He's talking about making it a place for teens to hang out and stuff. I don't know what's up with that. But the porch has got all these soda machines out there. Supposedly has free snacks. Didn't have them when we went there. Supposedly not any repeat flavors in the machines. I saw a couple repeats. I mean, I liked it. It was cool to see the old machines. I don't think there's better ones. He puts out the beat up ones so people don't tear them up. Would I go out of my way to go see it? Not necessarily, but it was kind of cool since we were going to Granite Falls.
But we got some diet sodas.
Yes, I don't even remember what I got. It was kind of a weird flavor. I'd never heard of it, and I got it, and it was like a ginger soda thing. But
ginger beer.
Yeah, ginger beer, which I usually don't like.
It was a clear. Was it clear?
It was white.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Yeah.
It was not bad. It was kind of like lemonade, to tell you the truth. Yeah. But anyway, so then we went to dinner at the Captain's Galley in Granite Falls.
Right. And we finally got to meet Derek and Shaughnessy, and we had a great dinner. We shut the place down. We were there for a couple hours. I like to talk. They like to talk. And
Derek thought they closed at 9:30, and they closed at 8:30. Yeah. So we were late.
But we had a really good meal and really good fellowship with them. Really, really awesome, sweet people.
Go check out their channel.
Yeah, go check out their channel, North Carolina Memory Makers. So it's NC for North Carolina, NC Memory Makers. And it's Derek and Shaughnessy. And they do a lot of camping. They do a lot of reviews in that area, in the Smoky Mountain area. A lot of camping in that area, out to eat in that area, but they also go all over North Carolina, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. She has family in Minnesota, so they travel everywhere. I think they've been to Colorado. They've done a few videos on Colorado and other places that they've been.
But they do have a review, at least one, I think actually 2 reviews of the Captain's Galley where we ate.
Right.
And not from when we went with them, but from other trips. And I will tell you, their prices weren't bad.
Not at all.
Especially because I got some kind of fish, perch, and got a pretty good serving of that. But I got the special that had the popcorn shrimp with it. And I was expecting, a handful of popcorn shrimp. I had a plate full of popcorn shrimp.
I mean, the portions were huge. The portions were so big that we took our leftovers, and we didn't waste any food on this trip, did we?
No.
We took our leftovers, and I wrapped them up in aluminum foil, and I put them on the campfire, because they had all of the state parks have the campfire rings, and they have the grills that fold over on top of the campfire. So we put all of our leftovers Well, we spent the night up there. We got back to. We went to Walmart.
Went to Walmart in Granite Falls.
Is that where we got the North Carolina?
That's where we got the North Carolina hoodies.
Yeah, the North Carolina hoodies are really nice, and they're soft, and they're roomy, and I love them. And then we went back to the campsite, and we slept pretty good. You woke up early in the morning because your phone was dead, and you were trying to check the score. You fell asleep.
Yeah, I fell asleep watching the hockey game.
You're watching the hockey game.
And my phone ran completely dead.
So I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm like, I hear the van running, and he's in the van charging. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but anyway, so we got up the next morning. We slept pretty good. I mean, it wasn't cold like it was, and we weren't right on the water. We were just 15 steps away or so from the shower houses, bathroom shower houses, which were amazing. Lake Norman, we're going back for the spring, and we're going to rent a cabin. They have several dry cabins that have a room in the. They have 2 rooms, and they have a queen size bed in the living first room, and then the second room has 2 sets of bunk beds on either side. It's all electric, and it has heat or air condition, and it's right next to the shower houses. And Lake Norman, they allow you to tent camp outside of your cabin. A lot of places don't do that. So it's going to cost us $75. It's $75 a night for the cabin, and we can pitch a tent right on the outside where they have the fire ring, barbecue grill, picnic table, and a space to set up a tent as well. And then he gets a military discount of $6 off a day. So it's $75 for the cabin, and there wouldn't be any extra for us to set up the tent. We set our setup where we were cost us, it was normally $26, but his discount, it was $20 to camp there for the night. And when we woke up the next morning, I took the coffee pot into the restroom with me, and brewed our coffee while I took a shower again. And then we came back, and we threw our crab cakes and our seafood, our leftovers from the night before. We put them in aluminum foil, threw them on the campfire, heated them up, had our coffee. It was really nice, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to say about these campfires, if you stay in a state park, I don't care how much it costs for their firewood. Their bundles at Lake Norman were $7.50.
Right.
They lit like nobody's business, and they burned. Which brings me back to, I said we had a little bit of trouble getting it started at Grumpy Bear. We bought, I forgot to mention it, Sterno Instant Flame Gel at Walmart for $7. I thought I'd try those rather than a fire starter.
Yeah.
It burns, and then it burns itself up, and it doesn't catch anything else on fire. So don't waste your money on that. Just buy campground wood, good campground wood. Now, I do buy the $1.32 or whatever it is for the little fire starter at Walmart.
Yeah.
Those generally work pretty good.
But a lot of YouTubers, they complain about having to spend $7 on a package of wood from the campground. But these are state parks, okay? And each state park, they're trying not to spread insects that are invasive and will cause trouble in the campground. So they want you to buy the wood from them. Here's another reason. It's always heat treated, and if you're only paying $20 to camp as opposed to a $150 hotel room, spend the extra $14, $21, $28 on firewood, okay? It's worth it. It's absolutely worth it.
You'll find out why here in a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, so we had a good night's sleep, good rest, good morning breakfast and coffee.
Yes,
and
we went
great
back
showers.
to the visitor center, and one of the same ranges
Oh wait, let me tell you
still there.
the showers. The showers, they have several spots for tent camping, and ours was not electric. they do have spots for electric, and they're only $33. So then you take your $6 off of that, and still only, what, $27 for an electric, and full hookup too. So if you have an RV and you want full hookup, it's only $33 for full hookup. The cabins are only $75, and they have these shower houses are brand new. Okay, they have a women's side and they have a men's side, and they have 3 showers and 3 toilet stalls. But what they also have is in the middle is an accessible, because it's right next to a handicap accessible cabin. They have an accessible bathroom that has a toilet and shower and a changing pad, and it's completely private for one person at a time. So I'm telling you, Lake Norman State Park is the way to. State parks are the way to go, and you just have to make sure that you find out what are their hours. Lake Norman's hours. Is it 8 to 5?
I think it's 10 to 5 or 9 to 5.
9 to 5. Okay, you got to make sure you get there by 4:30 or so you can get your firewood from them.
You can get firewood at Lake Norman from the camp host.
From the camp host, right. But I always think it's best to get there and check in with the actual rangers at the visitor center and check things out. I think it's always best. So if you need to get there, I would say by 4 o'clock. That way you can get set up, you can go into town and eat, or you can enjoy some of the amenities, or their little museum inside of the visitor center before it gets dark. So you really, setting up in the dark sucks. Does it not? Yeah. Yes. So, but yeah, Lake Norman State Park. Can't say enough great things about that. Okay.
So Wednesday we left Lake Norman, and this one, somebody realized their itinerary was not worth a darn. So,
right. So again, I'm like, yeah, we can go up to, where were we going to go?
Well, we're headed to Madison, which was,
right.
Actually Lexington was our first real stop.
To get Carolina barbecue.
But we went through Salisbury. So let me talk about Salisbury a little bit. So I got a comment from somebody talking about all the great things in Salisbury. I don't doubt there are some great things in Salisbury. We did not see them.
Yes,
we went through downtown, which was okay, to get pictures of the Cheerwine mural, but they don't have anything really for Cheerwine. I guess you can go to their corporate office, and they'll sell you stuff and give you a pencil or something, but we didn't go there. We went to downtown to get pictures of the mural. They don't have a soda shop or anything like that in town, or soda fountain. Mm-hmm. And then we were going to a thrift store, and we went through a not-so-great neighborhood.
Right.
I'll just say that. And the thrift store wasn't much better, so we moved on.
The town seemed a little bit sketchy, and I would liken it to Tupelo.
Yeah.
I mean, I really would. It had a lot of, unless you know the area and you know the people in the area. There was, we pulled into was that where we pulled into a gas station? And there was a guy who was, I don't know.
No, that was in Cleveland, Tennessee.
Oh, okay. But if you pull into a gas station and people are standing outside and they're acting crazy, and then they're eyeballing everybody that pulls up to the pumps, don't stay there. Just go. Go somewhere else. But it just seemed a little scary, a little bit sketchy. Excuse me. So, and Salisbury is the home of Cheerwine soda. Okay, you would think. So, a town over from us is Corinth, Mississippi. In Corinth, they have Coca-Cola. Okay. They have not only the Coca-Cola bottling plant and distribution center, they have a visitor center and a little soda fountain, okay, and murals all over downtown.
And a free museum.
But it's
only open during the week.
Salisbury, you would think that they would have, since it's the home of Cheerwine, that they would have something, a soda fountain or a tour or something, like a little guest closet or something, but they don't have anything. You know, like
Excuse me.
like Mount Olive Pickles, they have a very small room that has merchandise that you can buy and stuff. They don't even have that. They had 2 murals. One of them's a ghost mural, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you can drive around downtown and find, but there's really nothing promoting Cheerwine soda.
I thought it was interesting. The one building I took pictures of that's on Facebook has a pretty good Cheerwine mural on the side, and she parked in the law office right next door. And on the law office side of the building, it's got a Coca-Cola mural. So the same building has 2 different on opposite sides, 2 competitors. But anyway, after Salisbury, she wanted to see the Dale Earnhardt statue in Kannapolis.
Kannapolis, yeah.
Which I wish we'd have had more time to explore Kannapolis, because we've seen a bunch of different people on Facebook with the theater, and of course baseball, minor league baseball season's over, but the Cannonballers, something I'd like to go see. But anyway, you could talk about the statue, because she was the one wanting to see.
Well, if there's a video, a documentary about Carrie Earnhardt, and he has a podcast, and he has a YouTube channel, and he is the oldest son of Dale Earnhardt and his mom. And he didn't grow up with his dad. He didn't meet his dad until find out about his dad until he was a teenager. And there's a whole documentary about Carrie Earnhardt and how he came to know that his last name was actually Earnhardt, and that Dale Earnhardt was his father. And then he got to meet his younger brother and sister, and so there's a statue in Kannapolis for Dale Earnhardt, and in the documentary, he talks about how he grew up, how he became to know his dad, how he built a relationship with his dad, and how he got to build a relationship with his dad's mom, who was an amazing lady as well, and his aunts and all of that. So I encourage you to look that up. It's Carrie, Kerry, Carrie Earnhardt. Look it up. You can watch it on YouTube for free. That documentary is really, really interesting. But the statue in the little park area, really beautiful. And like I said, we're going back in the spring, and we might be able to check that out. But of course, baseball doesn't start till what, April or May?
Yes,
or maybe like even that. June.
Probably June in minor leagues.
Right. So, but if you get a chance, check that out. Like, we had more time, we would have checked out more there. It seems like a beautiful little town. So yeah.
And then one of the places I wanted to go was on my definite want to go check it out was Barbecue Center in Lexington. So I grew up in the St. Louis area, and sauce is the thing in St. Louis, and you put the sauce on the meat and you let it caramelize and all that. They don't do that. They don't even call it sauce. But that's another story. But we both got the pulled pork plate,
right?
And excellent. They call it dip. That's what they call it. Little bit of kick to it, but not bad. Was it my favorite barbecue? I don't know that it was my favorite barbecue, but it was good food.
And the buns were really good.
The buns were excellent.
And we bought extra buns to eat the rest of the barbecue, and we ended up using the buns for hot dogs over a campfire, which were amazing.
And they got a T-shirt there also.
Yeah, he got a T-shirt there.
The only downside to the place to me was I got baked beans. I like the baked beans at the place, but it basically tasted like they opened up a can of Campbell's baked beans. Everything else was pretty good. First time I've ever had the red barbecue or coleslaw. Again, I don't know if I go out of my way to get it, but
Right.
it was good.
But the ladies that waited on us and the other ladies that were working and running around near us were really super nice and just very talkative and very welcoming and great. It was a great atmosphere,
And,
for sure.
We didn't mention it in our review of the thing, or I don't know if we did or not, but in the back part of it, if you don't want to get out of your car, you can't get out of your car, whatever, they do have a curbside service.
Yeah.
So from there, we finally made it to our main destination of the day, which was Madison.
Yeah, and I originally had planned, because in my mind, again, you can drive 8 hours, see 12 towns, and make it to your next destination by 4 in the afternoon. You can't. So I wanted to go to Mount Airy, and the home of Andy Griffith. What I would say about that is, if you're going to go to Mount Airy, you need to set aside a couple of days or a weekend for that, and go and plan a trip when they're having a fair or festival, right?
I don't know if
I
want
would,
to
well,
go then, but
at least for a couple of days. You need a couple of days
Yeah.
in that place. And that's the other thing, too, with these camping spots. When you find one that you really like, you need to stay there 2 or 3 days to really soak it in and enjoy yourself.
speaking of that, though, you can stay in Andy Griffith's childhood home. Good luck. She looked
Yeah.
it up through what, March of 2025, and
Right.
it was booked
It's
up.
booked
She's
up
like,
for the
I
next
give it
2
up.
years. Yeah, it's booked up for the next 2 years to stay in one of his childhood homes. So yeah. Yeah. But they have other hotels and stuff like that. But then there's also, what's the name of the other place? That has the bologna sandwiches, the little roadside. I can't think of it right now. I can't think of it.
Anyway,
it was going to be on the way to Madison, and it's in that area.
oh yeah, I know
Yeah.
what she's talking about,
Okay.
and I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, so we got to Madison, and we went to Madison Dry Goods, but we'll talk about that in a minute, because she wanted to hit the quilt store before they closed. So she
Right.
walked to Stitch Party Studio. Meanwhile, I went the opposite direction to the Mad Bean. So I'm going to talk about that first. Went down to the Mad Bean. Apparently it used to be a different coffee shop till about a year ago. They have stones and crystals and that kind of stuff. And
Right.
they have other coffee-related stuff.
Was it kind of hippie-ish?
It was kind of
I didn't go
hippie-ish.
down there. I
it
went
was
to the
kind of
quilt shop.
hippie-ish. But their prices were pretty good.
And the coffee was
And
amazing.
she really liked her coffee. I just
Yeah.
drank black coffee. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I get
it wasn't
fancy
the-
iced lattes with almond milk and the blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
I'm used to the community coffee or the Dunkin' Dark Midnight. So I mean, it was decent coffee, but
Yeah.
I think it was just Folgers. So anyway, meanwhile, I walked back down to Stitch Party Studio to meet her, and we met Bob and Kathy. They are the owners.
Right. And they were really, really super nice. Let me do a quick little, 40-second video about Stitch Party Studio. Very small quilt shop, but again, they are excited to see people. They're excited about quilting. They have, they not only sell quilting products in a lot of different fabrics, but they participate in the All Carolina Quilt Shop Hop. They have classes there at their and they have I'm not sure if she has a long arm or not, but you can contact them. It's in Madison, North Carolina, if you want to take a class, or if you're looking for any specific fabric or thread or notion or whatever. Contact Bob or Kathy. They both work there. They both really super sweet people, and they'll come out and sit and talk with you and tell you about the town.
So then we went back to Madison Dry Goods. Now, okay. So it's Madison Dry Goods. They also have a hotel museum. They have the Lawson Family Murder Museum upstairs. They have a funeral home museum because it used to be a funeral home upstairs.
Right.
And they have a little antique market upstairs.
Where they have vendors.
And
that
they also,
sell,
it was already closed when we were there. but they also have a deli downstairs in the back part of the side part of the building now. They used to, I guess it's fairly new. Anyway,
What did we find for Battle? Was it Dark Side of the Moon?
Dark Side of the Moon record
yeah.
for $10. So,
yeah.
And we met the previous owners, Bob and Kathy. Or Richard and Kathy.
Richard and Kathy, right.
And Kathy, I'm sorry. And Kathy's a talker, so her and my wife were off to the side for a while.
Yeah.
But Smitty, we found out about Madison Dry Goods and Smitty from Appalachian Life YouTube channel.
Right.
Smitty's one of those people that have never met a stranger. He literally, when he had nothing else to do after I had asked him about the history of the town and the store, he would hunt me down and tell me more stuff. So
right.
He definitely will cozy up to you if you're friendly. So.
And he bought the place from Richard and Kathy.
Yes.
But they're still very active
yes.
in promoting and hanging out at the store. So.
And they'd found out, and I'll tell you from the video, they had talked to him a couple times. Somebody had told him that they were wanting to get out of the business. He went and met with them. And they'd talked a couple times. It was like the third visit. They found out he was born the same year they originally opened the store. So
yeah.
They said, this is definitely the guy. That's a sign of something. So.
And he's a super sweet guy. I mean, super sweet guy. And now this place, we bought a few things in the store, but we went upstairs and we went through the museum, and it's a little creepy. Little, tingles, hair on the back of your neck stands up in some of the spots, right?
Sure.
To me, it was. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. So if you don't know about the Lawson family murders, look that up on YouTube. There's lots of movies and documentaries and YouTube videos about the Lawson family murders. Crazy. Entire family was killed, and the funeral home that was upstairs were the ones that handled it, and it was a spectator. It was a spectacle, and the entire town showed up for the funerals, and they have some memorabilia from the actual funerals, from the family, and yeah, you have to go there and see it for yourself. That's all I'm going to say about that. So yeah, Madison, but we're actually looking for land. Actively looking for land, because we looked at a lot of places in North Carolina, because this was not just a second honeymoon and camping trip, but this was also scoping out places where we want to move to North Carolina. Hopefully it's looking like in the next 5 years, within the next 5 years. Katie graduates in 2025, and you reach partial retirement at 59 and a half.
Yeah.
So within the next 5 years, we're looking for a piece of land in that area, the Madison area, because we've decided that's a really good spot from all the other places that we went to. So anyway,
I forgot to mention that Wednesday also was our actual 20th anniversary.
Our 20th wedding anniversary. Cheers, baby.
Cheers, baby.
Cheers, baby.
Cheers,
yes.
baby. And so anyway, after we left Madison, we were there a good long time. We actually spent some time at Madison.
Yeah.
Just basically those 3 shops, but again, with the talkers that I apparently became while we were there. And everybody was really friendly there. Anyway, when we left there, we were headed straight to Jordan Lake State Park.
Right.
Which is in
Apex.
Apex, yes.
Now, Jordan Lake State Park
we got there, 7 o'clock?
Huge. It is a huge, huge place, okay?
Yes, we went to Parker's Creek.
We were in Parker's Creek, or Parker's Crossing.
Parker's Crossing, okay.
Campground inside of Jordan Lake, because all the other spots are taken inside of Jordan Lake. Excuse me. So, Parker's Crossing has 3 loops. Parker's Crossing specifically locks you in. They lock the gate at 9 o'clock at night. until 8 o'clock in the morning. You can't leave. You cannot leave. I don't know what they do for emergencies, because we only stayed the one night. And I only booked it because it's just feet from the water. Okay?
And I did fish for 10 minutes there too,
Yeah.
so that was my other fishing thing in the morning.
We found out real quick. We got there. We found the camp host, and he said, I'm not allowed to sell firewood. So they don't allow their camp hosts to sell firewood for Jordan Lake State Park. So he said there's 2 gas stations right down the highway. Just make sure you're back here by 9 o'clock because we locked the gates. So we went and we got firewood from the gas station. It was
Valero.
The Valero station. It was 2 for $9. I'm like, oh, get 4 of them. No.
Would not burn.
We got back to our campsite. We set up. It was cold. It would not burn at all. The only thing that burned was that goop stuff that we put on it, and the cardboard that we put stuffed in it to get it to try and burn. But that would not burn.
She tried to toast our buns in a cast iron skillet with butter in there, and it barely melted the butter.
It really didn't melt the butter. It didn't even get hot enough to melt the butter. Okay? It was terrible. It was awful. So,
we ended up giving...
the food that we ate was the Lexington barbecue, and it was lukewarm, was it not?
Yes.
So, I mean...
Still good, though.
It was good. I mean, it was good, but it was... Yeah. So, we ended up... The next morning, we got up, and it was so cold. And we didn't go hook up the coffee or anything. We got up, got our shoes on, and drove around to the bathhouse. And it had the louvers, so there was air flowing through this place. It wasn't heated at all. It was cold as hell. Where your tongue sticks to a pole? I was afraid my butt was going to stick to the toilet seat. It was bad. It was so cold. And so we sat in the parking lot of the shower house because there's nobody around. We sat in the van and warmed up. And we found out real quick that our little portable plug-in power source will the coffee pot trips it. It's not strong enough to handle brewing coffee. So we're like, forget that. So we got, and it wasn't even 8 o'clock yet. What time did we wake up? Like 5 o'clock? Because it was 4:30 in the morning. A plane flies over and woke me up. And we were up at, 5:30?
Yeah.
Trying to warm up. And so we were up at 5:30. We were ready to leave out of there by 7 o'clock. We watched the sunrise. I took some videos of the sunrise. And you did a little bit of fishing. And there's a guy that was staying in the campsite next to us that was kayaking. And they had rowers on the lake with bullhorns running practice drills. Okay. And then you had the bridge off in the distance, and all of the traffic, all you heard all night long was traffic. It was the noisiest campground. It was only $20 for the campsite, and I think it would be absolutely gorgeous if it weren't so freaking noisy, and if we had wood that would burn so that we could have a campfire to warm up. I'm sure maybe in the summertime it's not so bad, or if you're in an enclosed RV where you can drown out some of the noise. But it's loud, the Parker's Crossing. And I don't know about the rest of Jordan Lake State Park. I don't know about their campgrounds. Maybe they're further away from the highway. But they were all booked up. So Parker's Crossing was the closest that I could get in that area within the state park system. And like I said, it was only $20, but it wasn't a good experience. And so we had everything ready to go as soon as 8 o'clock hit so we could drive out of there. And we didn't try and drive out of there early to see if they unlocked the gates or not. That we just know that we went out there at 8:10, and we knew the gates were open. So then we went to...
First we went to Dunkin' Donuts again.
Oh,
this
yeah.
one in Cary, and the girl there was really nice and super fast.
Right.
they do it the right way there, or she did it the right way, where she asked the next customer wait, and she made ours, but they waited less time than we usually wait
Right.
when they don't go make the person in front of us orders. So
Right. So we got our coffee, we got some donuts, and then I had bought a Planet Fitness membership, which is amazing, and it's $25 a month. And then December 1st, I'm going to get charged $49, which is an annual membership fee. But I got the Black Card membership, which is I can go to any Planet Fitness in the United States, and I only needed my membership because I can get a guest in anytime I want, anywhere I want, just one guest at a time. So I can bring a carload of people and bring them in one at a time, and they can, they have showers. They have the women's and the men's locker type showers. They have, and then they have an accessible private bathroom with a shower. So we went there and we both got a nice hot shower. I got to use they have aqua massage tables, and they have a shiatsu massage recliner. So all that's included in my membership. Okay. So I can't beat that. So if you travel a lot or you live out of your vehicle, and that's what you do full time. Plus, if you do live out of your vehicle, if you have that type of membership, you can go there anytime you want, several times a day. You can go sit and hang out and use their internet. You can, if it's late and you don't have any place to sleep for the night, if you have a membership with them, just go in and say, hey, I'm not going to make it to my next destination. I need to sleep in my car in the parking lot. Most of the time they're cool with that, especially if you have a membership. So, yeah, Planet Fitness. And
yes.
You only need the one membership. So.
And we're going to give a shout out to Gabriel and Trevor that was working the front desk. They were very helpful too.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, Gabriel grew up, about an hour from where I grew up.
Yeah.
And the other, or one of them did, and the
Yeah.
other one was about 2 hours from me.
Right.
And we meet them in Cary, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And then...
Cary, North Carolina is a suburb, a ritzy suburb of Raleigh,
right.
North Carolina.
Right.
I mean, like suburban.
Yes. So then we went to the thrift to gift store also in Cary.
Right.
And I got a couple books about North Carolina history. I also got one about Mingala Twin that used to run the Holocaust Museum in Terre Haute that we've been wanting to go to. Now that she's passed away now, we'd still like to go there sometime, but haven't made it yet. Anyway, got a book written by her, and you got
I got a lot of crafts and stuff for Katie, some beads. I got a lot of fabric, and I got this big, huge, pink hoodie.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Christmas Story. Think Christmas Story.
Think A Christmas Story, but without the bunny ears. I could put bunny ears on them,
No,
but
please don't.
but I thought this would be perfect for wintertime camping. Not in Mississippi, not so much here, but yeah.
So we only saw the thrift store because, like a dummy, I wanted to go see where the Carolina Hurricane Magic happens at PNC Arena.
Yeah.
Except the state fair is going on.
At PNC Arena.
And yes, right outside of PNC. Now, if we had followed the GPS, we may have been able to go another road and seen one side of the thing. But I thought it wanted us to turn sooner than we should have.
Yeah.
So I told her, turn right here. And we went right through the crowd.
And we couldn't even get anywhere close to the visitor center or their
kind of saw
shop.
a little glimpse of Carter Finley Stadium where NC State plays football, but that's about it. But anyway, so...
Hold on just a second. Okay, so tell me about... and the reason why I was fighting to try and get in there is because at their shop, their visitor center,
What about it?
they have the yard signs you can get for free.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure what it is. It's some kind of office. They have hurricane signs. I read about it online, but
Right. So if you live in the Raleigh area and you can get us a Carolina Hurricanes yard sign, we would love that so much. Any Carolina Hurricanes stuff that you want to donate to Libby Adventures, just send me a message. We would love to have it. We would love to adopt that for you and take care of that. Take that off your hands for you. Yes, go Canes.
so anyway, well, then we hit the interstate basically, and so all we saw of Raleigh was basically the interstate and what was going on at the state fair, which technically is Cary.
Yeah.
And so she wanted to find out about restaurants, and Nag said she's looking for maybe a visitor center or something on the way. So I seen a park. She said a park. So I seen on the GPS Stony Creek Environmental Park. It's just got a playground. Didn't know what they had there. So we stopped at Nashville, North Carolina, and so it's right where all the same old stores are at, and kind of hard to get in and out of. So when we came out of there, she said, I'm just going to make a right and turn around. Well, we went a block or so before she turned around. We saw the mural. Tell them about the mural.
The mural was painted by inmates of the local jail.
Through their ministry.
Through their
thrift
ministry,
store is
yeah.
ministry. And so it's got Jesus' hands stretched out and
Right.
everything. Anyway, so we decided to check out downtown a little bit. She had to fight to find a parking spot, so I got out, took pictures, walked down Main Street. Really cool old courthouse. Built a new courthouse right next door. Looks similar to the old one. Doesn't
Yeah.
make a whole lot of sense. But anyway, they have two, let me see what it is, Christian Faith Ministry thrift stores. We went to the one on the corner. I think the one 2 doors down is mostly furniture or whatever.
Yeah.
But we met Selena there. Got some really good deals.
I got a lot of good fabric.
She told us about the town.
Grab the, I got the very first thing that was outside was this, I'm a quilter. And so this is a beach mat, okay? A plastic beach mat. It's got a quilted design on one side. I mean, this thing is beautiful. So, I think it's perfect, not just for the beach, but for camping as well. So, I thought that I might get to use that on the beach, but we didn't get to go to the beach because it was cold and wet. So we went.
So we left Nashville, and then Nag's Head was our next destination, but we took a little side trip through. I wanted to see Williamston. Now, to get to Williamston, you go through. What was it I said the other day?
You follow that road to your banjos?
Well, no. You go through Robertsonville and Williamston is economically handicapped.
Yeah.
Robertsonville, we were just on the main drag, whatever highway the GPS took us through. But I don't know that we seen a building that was complete. Everything was just dilapidated. It was sad. Now, when we got to Williamston, there's a big hotel that's abandoned and stuff, but on the way out of town, we found a really nice park, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a really nice park with some historic buildings. We didn't go down by the water, but apparently they got a pier and all kinds of stuff. But just a rough area to go through, just sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then we got back on the highway, and our next stop was the Terrell County Visitor Center to find out about restaurants in Nag's Head. That's in Columbia. And the woman there was very helpful. Suggested a restaurant. We called them up. They said yes, they had waterside seating.
Yeah.
And so from there we left, and we stopped by. On the edge of town was a seafood place called insane. Like the net.
Yeah.
And so we thought about just getting some seafood, having them cook it up, taking it back to the hotel room. We decided against it. So should we go ahead and talk about the place?
She said the next day, which was
Natalie.
Natalie said the next day, which was Friday, they're going to have a hot bar, and I said, well, we might stop by on our way out. So
we'll go ahead and talk about that. We did.
Yeah,
we did. We got it to go,
good.
and it sat in the back seat for an hour before we decided to eat.
Right.
Made the catfish first. Oh my goodness!
It was the best fried catfish I've
Yes.
ever had in my entire life, and it was thick. It was a thick fillet. Okay, I got a crab cake, and what else did I get?
Some shrimp. Now the shrimp was very chewy, but it also sat for another hour
Right.
before we tried to eat it. So
Right.
it was like 2 hours.
But my suggestion: go straight for the fried catfish. If they have a hot bar on Friday, go for the catfish. Leave everything else behind. You don't need it.
Yeah.
Just catfish. Yeah.
So our big splurge for the trip, after we decided not to buy food from there, was Sugar Creek Soundside Restaurant. I've gotten that wrong
Right.
every time, but it is the Soundside Restaurant.
So we sat
On the deck by ourselves, overlooking
on a Thursday night. People were starting to come in, so the restaurant was starting to fill up. But we sat on the deck outside by ourselves, and it was absolutely gorgeous out there. The sun was going down, and we were all by ourselves out there, and we had a great view of the Sound. And if I looked over the rail, a great view of the top of the minivan.
Yes.
So, but we really splurged, but really, to tell you the truth, we ordered a lot of food, did we
lot of
not?
food.
And you got a mixed drink.
We got 2 appetizers. We got a platter.
You got a mixed drink, and I
got a local beer.
you got a local beer. I got a non-alcoholic pina colada. Okay,
Right.
which is probably not any less expensive than a regular pina colada, but I wanted pina colada. I wanted a virgin pina colada, so I got that, and we got lots of got appetizers. We got a lot of food, and we spent it came to about $80, and we left a good tip, so we spent $100 there, and that was our one big splurge, and it was also the only hotel room that I had booked, and I booked this because I wanted a jacuzzi tub, okay, and it was 2 blocks from the beach. They had beach access, 2 blocks from the beach, and it was with my hotel rewards, hotel.com rewards. It was $2.62, okay. So we get there, and I didn't realize it wasn't just a hotel room. It was like an Airbnb, but a creepy one.
Yeah.
But it was an Airbnb, and the room had a bathroom, a separate room with the big tub, and then it had a nice sized bed, kind of okay, comfortable bed, then a dresser and a little seating area, but the TV, they only had like.
Yeah, you could get on
They had,
YouTube.
like, Roku.
They could get, you couldn't watch
Wasn't regular TV.
so I couldn't watch the hockey game. I was very disappointed. It
Right.
was blacked out, of course, on my phone because we were in the.
And there's only like 6 rooms in the section that we were staying in, and so it was kind of like reminiscent of our honeymoon,
Yeah.
where when we stayed in that bed and breakfast in Indianapolis,
Yeah,
and we were the
looking
only
glass.
people there.
Yeah.
It was creepy as all get out, okay?
Yeah.
So, but you needed a key code, what was it, 8 or 9 steps to get up to the place. You needed a key code to get in the front door, so it's more like an Airbnb, and then you needed a key code, another key code to get into the actual room. And so, so there's no handicap access in this place. So if you were handicapped, I don't know what they're going to do. If you're handicapped, there's no ramp or anything to get you into this place. So it's not handicap accessible at all. And when we got into the room, I was so excited for a jacuzzi tub, right? jetted tub. That's what I wanted. All these nights of camping, I wanted a jetted tub. So there was no drain plug, okay? So, and of course I'm messaging, there's no front desk. This is an Airbnb, unmanned Airbnb, and they didn't get back to me. And when they did get back to me, they said, oh, we'll send a maintenance guy tomorrow. I said, well, we're leaving tomorrow. So I had to use a rag, a washcloth, and a Ziploc bag, and the heel of my foot to hold the water in the tub, okay? And by the time I filled the tub up, it was lukewarm water. It wasn't even hot at all. And then I looked for there was buttons on the side of the tub, and I said, okay, well, that's probably the jetted part. It didn't work. And I called Steven there, and he couldn't find it. I'm like, this is not working. The tub doesn't work. Come to find out the next morning, there's a switch that was hidden behind the shower curtain to turn on the jets. But we didn't know that. There's no note, there's no nothing. And I sent them a message. I said, it's not working. What do we do? It's not working. And they're like, well, we can send the maintenance guy there in the morning. I mean, what's the point? So,
and we met the other couple that was staying there, and they said that after a couple, they stayed there all week.
Yeah, they stayed there all week.
They called and told them that they didn't have any, they were out of toilet paper, and they were like, well, we gave you an extra roll. You'll just have to go buy some.
Yeah, I mean, really? I mean, so what was the name of this place?
The Beach Inn.
Nags Head Beach Inn.
Beach Inn.
Avoid that place.
Yes, we went to the beach access though. A little late for. Did we see the sunset? We were a little late for it. It was already dark.
It was already dark, but yeah.
But we met Austin and Katie. They were there for their anniversary. They're the other couple staying there, young couple in their 30s.
Yeah.
From Troy, North Carolina, and they're in the band Drive Time, bluegrass band. If you like bluegrass, go check them out. I checked out their album on Spotify, and I liked it. So
yeah, really nice couple. We sat on the pier and talked to them for a good long time, and then we drove around in the dark a little bit around Nags Head. Didn't really go very far, and decided to go back to our room. And my back was really itchy. My back was, it was bad. I don't know if it was poison oak or I don't know what happened, but my back was really itchy and scratchy. And so he scrubbed my back and put some lotion on it, and I pretty much passed out, right?
Yeah.
And you tried to watch something.
Yeah, couldn't watch the hockey game, so I tried to listen to it on my phone and fell asleep on it. So.
Yeah. So would not recommend that place. The next morning we got up. We didn't make it for sunrise, did we? Or did we?
We did not. We slept in, and then we went to Duncan was our first stop. Again.
Well, we did go back over to the beach.
Yeah, we did go to the beach. We did go.
And we sat and we did watch the sunrise. I think.
No, we didn't.
We didn't?
We just did 1 minute of ocean sounds.
Oh.
Anyway.
Well, anyway. So then we went to Duncan, which we love. I want a Duncan shirt. I want a Duncan t-shirt, okay? If anybody wants to send me a Duncan shirt, that would be great too. I should be a spokesperson for Duncan, shouldn't I? As much as we spend there. But anyway, so we went to Duncan, and then we went to
Jockey's Ridge State Park.
Jockey's Ridge State Park.
And you can walk out to the sand dune. Pretty cool. I walked out there. I was about to give up. I wanted to take some pictures, and I was about to give up, and I look up and I see people at the end of the little pier, so I finished walking to the end of the pier. Yeah. And didn't go out on the sand. Would love to have time to do that sometime. They have hand gliding and hand gliding lessons there.
Right.
Don't want to do that, but they do have it. If anybody's interested in that. They do not, however, have camping at Jockey's Ridge. But there are other places on the coast with camping.
Yeah, with camping, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't go with that, because they do have a camping spot that's not right on the water, but they have tent camping, and they have bathrooms and shower houses like right behind the camping area, but it's all open, so there's no covering. It was wet and nasty and cold, and the only showers that they have are the drawstring showers that are really only good in the summertime when the weather's really hot, and for showers, but yeah, it's more like dispersed camping. So but from there, before we left, I did a little dumpster diving, and I found a really cool folding display metal thingy. Yes. Anyway,
and she wasn't going to any other quilt shops.
I wasn't going to go to any more.
But when we went around the shopping center, the Rusty Crow quilt shop was right there. So I was like, we might as well stop. We're on their parking lot, so. So
I bought some Carolina fabric, shop hop fabric from them, and talked to them a little bit. Bought some little holders for my embroidery thread. They were really super, super nice, and I think I talked more to the people that were coming out of there and then going in there than I did the actual owners. But we made a quick stop, and I bought a few things in there. And it's a really nice little shop. So if you're on Nags Head, check them out.
Yes, and so then the next stop really was Lake Jones, but we had one stop on the way. We'll get to that in a minute, but we got past where we turned off at Williamston, and we got behind a big truck coming out of construction zone.
Oh yeah,
and big rocks came
big
flying
rocks,
at us.
and it looked like slow motion. They're flying at us, scared the crap out of me.
But two big
spider holes in the windshield right in the middle. Okay, thank goodness they weren't, but I thought that the window was going to break. It scared me quite a bit.
It was bad. So anyway, then
so here's the thing: if you're in a construction area and you are driving behind anybody, especially in a construction area, but especially trucks, give them a big head start, okay? Don't worry about the people behind you or how mad you might make them because you're going so slow. You make sure that there's plenty of room between you and the truck or the vehicles in front of you, because those construction zones come with rocks, they come with all kinds of debris that's left on the road, and it'll fly up and hit your windshield. So don't worry about the people behind you. Give the people in front of you a long way away from you. Don't tailgate. No. So that's my advice for that.
Okay. So our next stop was supposed to be Mount Olive, but I will say on the way there, we were kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and we stopped at this little triangle gas station at a crossroads.
Pine Tops.
Okay. Would you let me?
Yes, go ahead.
Anyway, so the woman there, I asked her how much gas was. She said, I don't have gas. And I was like, okay, is there a Shell around? She's like, going toward Mount Olive. She's like, that would be about however far. She's like, you go up the other way 2 miles. And it wasn't 2 miles. She said 2 miles. She's like, at the stoplight, there's a Shell station right there. It was probably, a mile, if that? And we went to Pine Tops. We both really like Pine Tops. I don't know what it's like. Don't know anything about it. It was just a cute little town.
There were two young people in the gas station that we stopped at, and it kind of reminded me of the guy in West Virginia on our honeymoon. We came off the bridge in Ohio into West Virginia, Wheeling, West Virginia. Really? And we pulled into this little corner gas station, and this old man, he was getting ready to close up the shop, and we said, hey, we don't want anything, we don't want to bother you, but we wanted to know what is there to do in Wheeling, West Virginia. And he literally looked at us and said, I've lived in this town my entire life, and this place sucks. And I'm like, okay, all right. And they didn't say that. These two young people that were working in the gas station, they didn't say that. But I said, I said, what is there to do around here? Are there any good colleges or anything around here? And they said, and they told me about one. They said, well, you got, what did she say it was? I don't even know the name of the college. But I said, do they have a good program? They're like, no, not really. I'm like, oh, okay. Alrighty then. So much for that. So, yeah, they weren't excited to share. But they were young people that I would say, as soon as they possibly can, they're going to leave Pine Tops, North Carolina, because they're over the small town. They want to get out and live and see and do. But yeah. You don't want people like that, though, running your tourism department. You want people excited about, oh, yeah, you got to check this out. No, they're just like, nope, sorry. nothing to see here. Move on,
So after we got gas and I dug the rocks out of the windshield wipers,
yeah,
we moved on. We dodged rain all the way to Mount Olive.
Yeah.
And we went to the Mount Olive Pickle Company. If you've never been there, the GPS is going to take you to the right place. It will. Right. But it looks like you can't go in there because they have security guards. Well, we just pulled up to the gate to ask them, what did the GPS do wrong?
Where's the visitor center?
She's like, just pull up there 20 feet up and park in those two spots, one of those two spots, and go around the corner and the door's right there. And I should have seen as soon as we pulled up to the gate, you can see right across from the visitor center is the barrel they dropped the pickle in on New Year's at midnight Greenwich Mean Time.
It's in like a little small, smaller than a yard.
Yeah. And so we went to the gift shop, and Kelly was working there.
The gift shop is what, the size of our living room?
Yeah. Well, and they don't actually, a lot of it, they don't actually sell what's in there, so they got more room. A lot of it's in the back, and she'll go get it when you say, hey, I want this. Right. And she also gave us some fresh scratch and sniff pickle stickers.
Stickers, yes.
And so, you want to talk about the place?
Well, yeah, sure.
Okay. So,
yes, we got a coffee mug. We got these. These are the Simply Vidalia pickled Vidalia onion strips.
And you can't find these where we live.
Right. Oh my gosh. So good.
And this one is
the Simply Vidalia
bread and butter
garden salad. Okay, and it's got the onion, and it's got the pickles, and it's got carrots in it.
The only thing I will complain about any of this is, I will say that the carrots are all on the bottom of here. And I dug one out, and it's very crunchy. I wasn't crazy about the carrots, but the rest of the mix, oh my gosh, campfire hot dogs with this on it.
Yes.
You cannot beat it. Anyway, so Kelly really helped us out there, got us a lot of nice stuff there. She got a t-shirt. I didn't get a t-shirt.
No, I got a pink
I got a coffee mug.
Mount Olive pickle t-shirt. I love it.
So we had to...
It was one of the highlights of our trip, is stopping in there just for a few minutes before they closed.
And we had to rush. Well, they weren't closing. We had to get to Jones Lake State Park.
Yeah, so that we could get our firewood from the visitor center.
Didn't really see anything between Mount Olive and Jones Lake because we were rushing through. She tried to go the wrong way down a one-way street in one of the towns. But anyway, we made it to the visitor center with, 10 minutes to spare.
Yeah.
Woman there, very nice, very helpful, got us some stickers, and we met a ranger coming out the door after we bought firewood, and she's like, where's our firewood? Where's the firewood at? And she's like, oh, the ranger will bring it out to you.
Yeah, so
we met. Neither one of us got his name, but redheaded ranger, younger guy. Met him on the way out and talked for a minute or two, and then we went. Got to her campsite. She wanted to check out the bathroom, and no sooner than she drives away, he shows up with the firewood.
Yeah, he brought the firewood out to our campground.
He laid it right beside the fire ring and everything. And I was talking to him when she came back. She's like, what's with you and talking to people on this trip?
I know. He doesn't talk to anybody. I'm the talker. But
really nice guy.
So we love Jones Lake State Park. Okay, so this little state park, it's in a marshy area, surrounding area, It's very small campground. There's 20 spots, okay? Their bathrooms are a little bit older, but their bathrooms are super clean and they are warm. They have heaters in their little shower house bathrooms, okay? They have 3 stalls, okay? So I went and checked out the bathroom, and I drove around the park while when I pulled up to our spot, and I did a couple of videos. You can check those out on LaBee Adventures on our YouTube channel. So so we set up that area. We set up our tent, our tent awning over the top of it, our tarp underneath, and just the air mattress, okay? And then he did a quick little 30-second video where he describes us as camping experts. Yeah, he jinxed us big time. So then we decided we're going into town. We went into town to maybe look around to see if we could get something to eat, and we landed on...
If you go to when you go to the crossroads, it's about an equal distance on the left to White Lake.
White Lake.
Or to the right to Elizabethtown. Now, we went to both. Well, we started out in Whitetown because that's where mini golf's at, but they're closed for
and
the
we knew it
season
was going to
whatever.
rain. That's why we set up the tent awning and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So we drove around a little bit and checked it out. And then we found a place called Sugar Shack. They're getting ready to close for the year. They have an arcade, which was already closed for the year. But they have a laundromat and an ice cream shop. So we had ice cream while we did laundry.
Right. And then we went to Walmart, and we went to Food Giant.
Food Lion in Elizabethtown. Got hot dogs. I was going to get Bright Leaf, but I couldn't bring myself to do it because I wanted all beef hot dogs. But I promise you, North Carolinians, I will try some Bright Leaf hot dogs at some point.
So we got some Nathan's all beef hot dogs. Yes. And we get back to the campground, and our tent awning is over on its top. The fly for the tent is off, has blown off, and everything is soaking wet, okay? Thankfully, we didn't pull everything out of the van. We didn't pull our bedding or anything, didn't set any of that up. But you'd think that we would have, we didn't think about the wind. We really didn't think about that. So our air mattress was still blown up, but it was wet, and it was wedged inside the wet tent. So we took the wet tent, we pulled it out, we took the air mattress out, we moved the tarp, and we turned the air mattress over, okay, and we put the moving blanket back on it because it didn't get wet. Put it on top of the moving blanket, and we slept on the plastic side that was dry with our sleeping bags, and then we put the tent awning back over the top, and we slept in the open air, and it was cold, but we did have a really good campfire. We made hot dogs, and we used our buns from the Lexington barbecue place, and the sweet Vidalia, Simply Vidalia onions. Oh my gosh, those were the best hot dogs I think we've ever had. And we enjoyed the fire, and we had our soda from Granite. We still had some soda from Granite Falls, or I did.
Yes.
And yeah, it was a diet root beer, I think it was. And so yeah, and we were freezing that night. But the next morning we got up, got everything put away, and I went and took the second shower that I absolutely loved that trip, which is at Jones Lake State Park. So again, it has 20 spots. They have a heated, warmed, awesome shower, and the spot only cost, with his military discount, costs us $16. Okay, and it's a pull-through site, so and it doesn't have electric, but $16. I mean, if you get a little Jackery or a little electric generator, you can have a heater. You can, yeah, make sure you secure your tent. The only thing I would say is I was worried in the middle of the night, if you have kids and you've ever woken up and your kids are like right there beside the bed when you open your eyes, and scares the hell out of you. I was hoping that wouldn't happen with a critter or an alligator or anything else, but we were good. We were safe. We survived the night. We got a great shower, and we got out of there early in the morning. We were there. We left before it was light, right?
Yeah, we left really
because
early.
we had another unrealistic part of the plan was we drove, and I don't know how we made it, but we drove from there to our last night was in Cades Cove, okay, and we stopped in. What was our next stop?
Our next stop was again Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts,
and
that's right.
Lumberton just did the drive-through there, but again, good service, good food, everything. And then we took an excursion into South Carolina after I argued with the GPS, and it took me on the toll road, which we still haven't gotten a bill for, but anyway, to Fort Mill, South Carolina.
And maybe you guys know about that. If they do tolls on the weekend, I don't know. It was a Saturday, so.
So anyway, we got to Fort Mill Welcome Center.
Yeah, I didn't explore into Fort Mill at all. I want to, because that's the home of the PTL, the old PTL. And then from there we went to Serendipitous in Rock Hill. This is where I had bought the All Carolina Quilt Shop Hop magazine and map and passports and all that stuff.
And it's where my Aunt Brenda's a regular.
Yeah. And also they had set up for veterans, they had a room with the Quilts of Valor quilts, several quilts that were set up there. I bought some fabric from there, of course. And then we moved on from there. We didn't stay very long.
After we solved our daughter's problems 7 hours away.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's another story. From there, we moved on to the western edge of Charlotte to buy a tent.
Right.
Tent,
so I went on
Honeymoon
Marketplace
suite.
to buy a tent. Hold on just a second. Anyway, so because our tent got wet, we decided to get another tent off of Facebook Marketplace, which we did.
On top of that, our tent was bought when our kids were very small.
Yeah, this
and the
tent
queen
was small.
bed, one person had to pull the door open and squeeze the bed in. And
it was like giving birth.
Yeah,
in reverse.
It barely fit
shove it in there. Yeah, and so we on Marketplace we got a. It turned out to be like a honeymoon suite. It's a freaking huge Coleman tent and a cook set that was still in the box, still brand new in the box. So I got all of that for $75. Yeah. So anyway,
and so it was a really nice guy.
Really nice guy.
But to get to the neighborhood, and I don't remember the neighborhood. I couldn't figure it out on the map. To get to the neighborhood was the weirdest set of roads, like crisscrossing at weird angles and stoplights at weird angles. But anyway,
it was crazy suburbia.
Yeah, and then we went to the Goodwill there, and they had nothing. So anyway, we're going to go on with our story because it's taking a while.
Yeah.
So we tried to go to the meeting place in Lincolnton, which was another one of the places I kind of wanted to try, have a couple sandwiches, sound really good. So we get to town, there's people everywhere. So we get close to the place, and we stopped and asked this older black gentleman, who's very nice, told us where free parking was, and said it'd only be a couple blocks walk, and that we'd love the place and we'd come back again and again if we tried it. But they had the
festival
apple festival going on.
Yeah.
So we decided, no, we ain't doing all that. Let's move on. So we look at what's on our way to Cades Cove, and I find this Uncle E's, I guess that's how you pronounce it, it's 3 E's, in Morganton. So we drive to Morganton, which is kind of on the way there. And guess what? There's a festival going.
Another festival, yeah.
So she parked anyway, and I walked to this place. I only walked a block. Got burgers. They were good burgers.
They were really good
They're
burgers.
It's a regular bun, I think, but they smash it and grill it all together. And
yeah, it's like a patty melt.
Patty melt, yeah. It was really good. But anyway, but moving on, we're still on our way to Cades Cove.
Because it took forever to get to Cades Cove.
Yes, so
I was getting tired and sleepy, and I wouldn't admit it. And
yes, so then, of course, when we got to the Marion exit, we got some Dunkin' Donuts.
Of course.
Or coffee, anyway.
yes.
And then we stopped at Ingles to get some food for the campground in Black Mountain. Don't have much to say about Ingles, except for if you look on Facebook at the picture with Ingles in it, this is their view from your grocery store. Just gorgeous mountain view from your grocery store. And anyway, and then we made a little quick stop at the Haywood County rest area, which is it's the last rest area in North Carolina. Just a little bathroom break. Beautiful there, though. Had a little garden area and stuff. And so we decided we're going to take the Foothills Parkway to get to Cades Cove.
Yeah.
That's the way it told us to go anyway. We're going to make a video. Well, GPS led us here, there, and everywhere. Make a long story short, 45 minutes later?
Yeah.
We come out in Pigeon Forge. I don't know why we couldn't just stayed on the interstate till we got down to Pigeon Forge area and cut over. I don't understand it, but that's what the GPS did. So we got to Cades Cove after dark.
Right.
What do you got to say about Cades Cove?
Okay, so we get to Cades Cove. It was after dark. Did we have hot dogs there? We got hot dog buns at Ingles, didn't we?
Yes, we
Yes,
did.
okay.
Yes.
So we had hot dogs again to eat. Once we got the tents, our honeymoon suite set up, because it was huge tent.
First time setting it up, and we were done in 15 minutes, 20 minutes?
And they have, of course, the visitor center was closed because it was after dark, but they have a camp store there, and they have wood on the honor system back behind the camp store. And it was how much?
$9.
So almost $10. So we got 2 packages of wood, and we only ended up using one, and we took the other one back.
They also have ice on the honor system.
Yeah, they have.
Said that.
But we didn't need it because we actually stopped at this one of those Ice Baby roadside.
Plymouth.
Yeah, and there was free ice. It gave us free ice. I don't know why, but that lasted us until we got home. And I actually didn't put that. We just got rid of that ice a couple weeks ago because I brought it home and put it in the freezer. It was pretty much intact. So Coleman ice chest. You don't need a Yeti. Don't spend hundreds of dollars on a Yeti. Get you a $60, or we only paid $30 for ours. Get you a $60 Coleman and spend $3 or $4 or $10 a day on ice, and you still won't spend as much as you do on a $400 Yeti. So anyway, Cades Cove. So we've got we set up our camp. The thing about Cades Cove campground, and
a lot of people don't even know you can camp there.
Right. You can camp there. It is non-electric, and we stayed in the non-generator portion. A nice flat area, nice little camp area. We set up our tent. We got a fire going. We had some hot dogs. We had something to drink, and we were nice and dry for the night. And then, but the thing about Cades Cove Campground is you are close. Like, we were 10 feet away from our neighbor, who was also in a tent with a baby, okay, who woke us up at 4 a.m. crying. Also, it was super dark. You can't really see. I mean, you're in bear country too. You need to make sure that you put all of your utensils, anything that you used with food or for food, you need to make sure you put that up. And we had one cooler for dry stuff and one cooler for our cold stuff. And we kept that in the van, put it all away once we were done. We didn't leave food out or drinks or anything out. We just take a bottle of water with us to bed. But all the food, everything gets put back up, okay? And the path to the bathrooms were right behind our tent, okay?
So-called path, because I tried to take it and I couldn't find it. It looked like it was going straight into other people's campsites, and I was like, it is a small loop. I'm just going to take the road. So that's what I did. And I drove around to the bathroom to go brush my teeth and get ready to go to bed. And then I drove around there again in the morning to go get something or to brush my teeth again and use the bathroom, which they didn't have toilet paper in the stalls that worked. The stall that didn't work, the door was half hanging off. I had to hold it with one hand and use the toilet paper to wipe with the other hand. They don't have showers, and we quickly broke our site down, put everything in the van, and by 7 o'clock, just before 7 o'clock, we had gotten in line to drive into Cades Cove. And so the only caffeine we had was soda, right? Yeah. That, and did we have the pecans and stuff at that time? So we had some snacks that we had forgotten about and for protein for breakfast. So we started our venture through Cades Cove, and we dropped the wood off, and we paid for the other wood. We put money in for the other wood that we used. Went through Cades Cove. That took a couple hours. Yeah. There's no Wi-Fi, of course, in Cades Cove campground, but there's no phone signal either. So I called my daughter the night before we got in there. I said, we're not going to have a phone signal, so if you don't hear from us for the next 24 hours, we're okay, and we'll message you when we get back to civilization. So we got in line at 7 o'clock to go through Cades Cove, and there was already a line miles long to get into the park, and they were letting people let us in. So we went through the park. There were people that would, and I took a lot of videos of Cades Cove that are silent videos of just the drive through the park. But people, there's a pull-off every 5 feet or so on either side, and people will not move. People will park. They will just stop in the middle of the road and get out to take pictures, okay? If you go to Cades Cove, don't be those type of people, okay? If you think that you are going to get out and take pictures, if you think that you might see something, just pull over. Just pull over and let people get past you, okay? Just pull over and get out and take your pictures. Don't stop in the middle of the road and get out and take pictures and hold up the traffic, hold up the line. Don't be that person, okay? There are plenty of places to pull over and get out of the way of other people. Be courteous, be kind, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of the people around you, okay? Don't throw food out to attract the bears so you can get good pictures of bears. That's dumb, okay? These are wild animals, okay? These are not pets, okay? This is not a petting zoo, okay? These are wild animals. Do not go out in the middle of the field close to the wildlife to get better pictures, okay? That's Zoom dumb. Is for. That's what Zoom is for, okay? Our friends, Derek and Shaughnessy, they said they have a video of this as well, of their experience. One of their experiences going through Cades Cove, and they've been through Cades Cove a lot, and they know some actual residents and historians of Cades Cove. But he actually saw a guy
put his toddler child on his shoulders and walk out into the middle of the field close to this bear to get a picture. Don't be that person. Oh my gosh, you don't be stupid. I mean, really? Seriously? Like, come on, honey. Let's go pet that pet skunk. He's fine. He won't spray us. He knows not to. Don't be that person. Don't be dumb. Really, seriously. And it's so busy. So, okay, back to the campground real quick. So the campground is so busy. There's people there everywhere. And it's just, and we paid $30 for the spot, which was a beautiful little spot, but you're just right on top of each other and there's people everywhere. It's super busy. We were up, they were people off in the distance up to about 11:30 at night hollering and just partying, I guess, just having a good old time. So again, people who do not care about other people around them, I don't like to stay in places like that. But anyway, so back to Cades Cove. So we went down this one access road, and we saw several people that were stopped. Some of them right in the middle of the road, off of this dirt road, and there was a bear there, a younger bear, not a full-size bear, like a baby bear, or maybe a teenage bear, right?
Yes.
Maybe. I mean, he wasn't little. He wasn't a baby. But he had his hands like this, his paws like this, and he's eating something that didn't look like natural food that you find in the forest. So some idiot, I'm sure, and I'm going to use that word, I'm going to throw that word around. Some idiot had thrown some kind of food product out there to attract a bear so that they could get good pictures of the bear. Don't be that person either, okay? Don't be stupid, okay? So we did get to see a bear. And then I joked because all my phone started going off. All the notifications started going off. And I joked that the bear must have Wi-Fi. But we were really close to the visitor center. So I'm sure they have Wi-Fi because they have to run the registers and use phones and stuff. So, but yeah, I joked that bear had built-in Wi-Fi. And we finally got a signal.
So I do want to thank the North Carolina Memory Makers again, because one of their videos, I didn't know this, but had we ever been to the Primitive Baptist Church before?
No, we had not.
So we went down there only because he had mentioned guy goes there on Sundays to play music sometimes. Well, we met the guy. His name's Charlie Close, plays the psaltery, and just beautiful music.
And I have a video of that as well.
When Derek was there, he wasn't there. They missed him. And he said he's only missed, 3 Sundays in the last 2 years? Yeah. So he's there a lot. So them missing him was just unusual. So,
but he not only plays the psaltery, but he also has, he also tells the history of the church and talks about the handprints that are on the ceiling and about the kids that helped do the restoration of that church and stuff like that, and the painting and stuff. And so, yeah, go check out. He's there almost every Sunday morning. And it was cold. And I did do a video of him playing, because I asked him about one of my favorite songs, Sweet Hour of Prayer, and he played that for me. And he has a list there of folk songs and hymns that he'll play for you. Really super nice guy.
Yeah, we listened for a while. We only recorded one song because we just wanted to sit back and enjoy it. Well, I went out and looked at the cemetery.
And then other people were coming in and out, and he was telling them the history and asking them about what songs they'd like to hear, and so I just sat back and listened. It was interesting. It was one of the better parts of the trip. So I'm glad. So it's the first church turn off when you're going through Cades Cove.
Yeah, and it's a very narrow road to get back there. You might have to pull into a spot and let
be aware that there are people coming in and out, and the road is one vehicle at a time. So there's places you can pull over and let other people through, but just be aware. You know, if it's rainy season, I don't know what it's like during the rainy season.
Yeah.
But it's definitely worth a stop. So
anyway, that's about it.
Then we went into the visitor center,
and
got some patches, went to the restroom, Met some other people and just talked to other people. He talked to a lot of people in this trip. He's not a people person. He never has been a people person. He is now. Before he never was. Anyway, so then we went out, and again, we pulled out of the visitor center going to finish our trip through the Cades Cove, and right there was another guy. Literally, he parked in the middle of the road and got out to take pictures of the field, and I'm like, dude, there's a pull-off right there and a pull-off right there, and I pulled up. And I said, you need to move. Oh, I need to. I said, yes, you need to move your vehicle out of I said, you can't block the roadway. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He apologized to me like he thought I had authority over. I didn't have authority. I was just mad at this point. I was just like, look, get off the road. Don't be that guy.
She was hangry.
Yes, I was hangry because I hadn't had breakfast and these people were working on my last nerve. So then we did get to see another bear.
Yes.
And then we finally made it back to the campground where we were going into the camp store, which was covered up again because there's so many people out there. So I said, well, let's go in here and we'll get us a coffee or something. Yeah. No, there's too many people in there, and we're just like, forget that. We'll get something outside on our way out. But on our way out of the camp store, I said to the lady, and granted, she was busy in there. She was behind the register. I said, we got 2 packages of wood, and we returned one, but we paid for the other one. Is that okay? And she said to me, yeah, so you're saying we're square? And I said, yes, ma'am. She goes, okay, bye. I'm like, okay, I thought that was kind of rude. Maybe she didn't mean it that way. Maybe she's just busy. But I was just like, okay, let's get the hell out of here. I was done. I was done at that point. So I'm like, so Cades Cove Campground, I don't know what it's like in the summertime. I do know that it's busy as all get out. Okay? So if you're okay with being completely covered up with people 24/7 the entire time that you're there, you're good. You're golden. If you like a more quieter space, I would find somewhere a different campground to camp in that's quieter. But if you're okay with noisy campgrounds and no phone signals and no electric, then that place is for you. And then we left there. We went through Townsend and we went to
the Burger Master.
The Burger Master.
And you got to go up and order your food, and they give you a pager when it's done. And I mean, it's a cute little place. I was like my wife. The burger was good, but I thought the bun overwhelmed the meat. It's again another place that, you know, if you're there, it's okay. I don't know that I'd go.
If you had more time and you were relaxed and you weren't hangry, it might be different. And all I wanted at that point was some coffee.
And so the closest Dunkin' was in Knoxville.
what they call, how do they say it? How do they call it? Pissy. They call those people pissy. Wow. Pissy people, pissy and hangry together are not good. Not good at all. Okay?
So we went to the Dunkin' in Knoxville.
Yes, we did.
To calm her down some.
Yes.
And then it was time to head for home, so we were almost done with this thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what was going on in Knoxville, but for a Sunday, there was so much traffic. So we got through Knoxville, and she pulled over.
In Chattanooga.
She pulled over in Lenore City, and we got gas, and I drove for a while. I drove through Chattanooga. It was fine. We were going flow of traffic, about the speed limit.
I fell asleep for how long?
Yeah, she slept from there till we got into Chattanooga, after I had already been sitting in traffic in Chattanooga for 45 minutes. We were like an hour to go, 5 miles through Chattanooga.
I was asleep. I didn't know. I woke up and I'm like, where are we? He goes, we're still in Chattanooga.
It was ridiculous. And so we got through
And this was on a, what, Sunday afternoon?
So we got through Chattanooga and we got to Scottsboro,
Alabama.
Scottsboro, Alabama. We spent a whole 10 minutes in Georgia.
Yeah.
20 minutes round trip through Georgia this trip. Anyway, and when you get to actually Guntersville, our last food stop,
Yeah.
Captain D's. Not the best Captain D's experience either. But if you're in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, check out their Captain D's.
Oh, yeah. Muscle Shoals, Alabama has the best Captain D's ever. But we stopped. We got some Captain D's and...
but they did finally have a lobster roll. They always
Yeah.
have the posters that's back, and I asked for it, and they're like, oh, we're out. So, finally got to try that. Wasn't crazy about it.
But
Tasted
there's
like
a state
crab.
park there called Nickajack. Is that
That's in Tennessee.
in Tennessee? Okay.
Yes, anyway. And so, basically what I'm going to call our last stop in here is Decatur Raceway Station, where we always stop and get our community coffee.
Yeah.
And then pretty much straight home.
What time did we get home?
6:30 our time. Now, we lost an hour going.
Yeah.
Different time zones.
We never make it home during daylight.
Yeah, well, it wasn't daylight
Well,
then either,
we never
but-
make it home before midnight. We never make it home before midnight. And the fact that we got home before 7 o'clock in the evening, that's weird for us.
So I'm going to say believe it or not, honey, my favorite part of the trip was the people we met.
Yeah.
Because Smitty, the memory makers, the quilt, yeah.
Just about everybody at the quilt, any of the quilt shops that we went to, Smitty from Madison Dry Goods, Derek and Shaughnessy from Granite City, North Carolina, memory makers. I mean, just some of the people that we met were just amazing,
Austin
amazing
and Katie,
people.
so.
Austin and Katie, Gabriel, and what was the other guy's name? At Planet
Trevor.
Fitness. Trevor and Gabriel at Planet Fitness. I don't think we met anybody that we didn't like, or or very few.
Yeah. And I like
The memory of them is drowned out by the memory of all the wonderful people we met and we talked to.
and the park rangers, all the park rangers were.
Yeah.
And you didn't even mention them helping, working so hard at Lake Norman to help that lady find her cat.
Oh yeah, Lake Norman. When we checked out the next morning, we went to the visitor center, and there was a lady who lost her cat, and I actually saw that cat, and I have it on video of me saying, "Oh, look, there's a cat." That was like right there, and I never did follow up. I hope she found her kitty cat. But apparently it was sickly and it had gotten out, and I hope they found it. It's not a very big campground, but if the cat didn't want to be found, so hopefully she did find her kitty cat. I don't know who takes their cat camping, but more power to you. There weren't a whole lot of people with animals that we saw, were there?
No. But it seems like everybody on YouTube's got a dog, except for us.
Yeah, we don't have a dog. We don't have a dog. We don't have a cat. We have teenagers, and yeah, maybe we should get a dog. I don't know. Maybe we should
wrap this up.
Yes, let's wrap this up because we're going on over 2 hours now for our review.
Yes.
So that was our review of North Carolina. Some highlights. Lake Norman State Park, Jones Lake State Park, Madison, North Carolina, Granite Falls, North Carolina,
Pine Tops. I'd like to check
Pine
out
Tops.
Pine Tops
Like
more.
to check that out. White City, North Carolina, outside of Jones Lake State Park.
Yes.
The barbecue place in Lexington.
Barbecue Center was
Barbecue
good meal.
Center in
And,
Lexington.
What was the Captain's Galley that Derek picked out
Captain's Galley.
in Granite Falls?
The restaurant in Nag's Head.
The Surfside.
Soundside.
Soundside, yes, I get that wrong every time. Sugar Creek.
Sugar Creek Soundside Restaurant. And then the Insane.
N-Seine. Insane Seafood. In
Columbia, North Carolina. They have a hot bar on Fridays. And it's a seafood market / restaurant. So you can buy crab legs.
Supplies.
And they have all that cool stuff. You should have got that lighter. They had a lighter that looked like a fishing pole. You should have got that. Anyway, so my absolute favorite place to stay in North Carolina, Lake Norman State Park. That's my favorite. That's my number one. Number two is Jones Lake State Park. So
I would flip-flop them myself, but
okay. But I would say stay there at least 2 to 3 nights.
Yes.
And do your research. And do like we did. Watch a bunch of people's YouTube videos.
But mostly ours.
But mostly ours, right? Please like and subscribe. Send us your comments. Email me. Email us. LaBeADV Adventures. LaBeADV at Gmail. At Outlook.com. Or April Labee, APRILLABBEE at hotmail.com. Or you can comment, or you can message us, add us on Facebook at Labee Adventures. And we're getting ready to leave at midnight tonight, Thanksgiving night, and we're going someplace special. And we're going in Arkansas. We're going on a hit and run weekend, 2 nights, and we're taking the whole family with us, and we're taking you guys with us, so check that out too. So like and subscribe, Labee Adventures. We love you. Thank you for watching this as long as you did, and like and subscribe,
and find us on Facebook.
And thanks, guys. Good night. Happy Thanksgiving.